Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Listen, man. Now I did a video yesterday talking about, what I've been hearing. Now, the reports about people all over, especially out there in NY, but all over, people are having issue with Claressa Shields, especially women. And, for obvious reasons, Claressa Shields has come out here and challenged a lot of people and said things basically, about how she can't lose a fight and she'll whip people's butts and she'll do this and do that. Now, the thing is, Claressa, I think, was just trying to go viral, get clicks and views, and she did. But she also gained some enemies. But the problem is it's got to a point, not just with the stuff she's doing, but by the different things that have come out from family members saying, supposedly there was, some money that was offered to them to do certain things to people, and it's a bunch of horrible stuff, right? And you guys follow the Claressa Shields soap opera. You know the different things that I'm talking about. I'm not here to rehash all of that. What I'm here to tell you is there are a lot of people who pay attention to YouTube, and there are some people who aren't even paying attention, but things come across their radar. And it's not just civilians. You got people in law enforcement. You got people in politics, people involved in boxing. You got the regular casual boxing fan. It's different. It gets to different levels, different people. But the bottom line is certain things that are said stick out and it circulates. Okay? With Claressa Shields' situation and the different people who've come out and spoken about her as far as things that may have been going on behind the scenes, some very criminal shit. Okay? Well, it's gotten the attention of certain people, certain entities, which is a favorite word that people like to throw around right now. And as a result, they're watching. And they got a street team out there that's knocking on doors, turning over stones, asking questions. And what's been confirmed is out there by the locals that this shit is true. That is the word on the street out there. If Claressa comes out, that there are people who want to hurt her. Now, I'll say this. Claressa doesn't deserve that. But we had several people call in last night, and, they got family out there in NY, in the city, from Brooklyn to Long Island. And they're like, that's the pulse, especially out there in Brooklyn, right? And when they were talking, I already knew. So, because I guess different things come my way. And I know who I'm talking to, and they ain't gonna feed me no bullshit. But it's serious, man. Now, I saw Claressa Shields was out there at the Angel Reese event today. And she was there, Jiggy John O, had a little hair done outfit on, had the WBC belt, and smiling and that. And it's cool. She's out doing things. But, it kind of sucks that when I'm watching her now, I'm watching and I'm just waiting for the explosion. I'm waiting to hear some news that something happened to her or she overreacted to something. Because we're talking about these things. This isn't the first time this has come up. It's just reached a point now to where there are things coming my way from people who are like, look, I gotta scale back from this bullshit because it's a problem. Let me say this. What's it gonna take for Claressa to realize it's okay to allow people to say things? It's okay to allow people to suggest that they would whip your ass in a street fight. It's okay. Claressa is not a gangster. She's an athlete. Being an athlete is cool. Being a villain, not so cool. Especially when your whole thing is about being as offensive as possible because you're seeking virality. in hopes to get this big paycheck at the end of the month from these various social media platforms. But you're offending people at the same time. And now you got people who don't quite understand or can't discern between the real person and this character. So now they see you for this character. And they don't like that character. And they want to do something to the character. You see, this thing about when Claressa was talking about I'll smoke the F out of you and saying I'm a known killer. When it comes to the streets, they don't have time to decipher whether she's talking about Remy or she's talking about some other female or cat, dog, it doesn't matter. What they hear and what their perception is, that's their reality. They don't care. And everyone knows I don't keep up with all that hip-hop bullshit that's going on. I'm from the old school. If that shit ain't main source, I don't want to hear about the shit. If that shit ain't special ed, I don't want to hear about it. But my thing is, I've talked to enough people to know that when it comes to Remy, New York loves Remy. And you know what? Even I, who don't pay attention to none of that shit, I'm just sitting here and noticing it now. I'm not even looking for it. I see that Remy's name is popping up here, popping up there. I'm like, yo, what the hell? She's come like Superwoman, up and away. It's like, you know, there is no kryptonite for her right now. Remy is blowing up, man. And she was always well known, and I would say respected, but she is really on another level right now. Saw her there on the news. She's showing all 32 teeth, smiling, happy. They're glad to have her there. She did a great job. She got all the support in the world. You can see everybody rooting for her to win. She's winning right now. And I'm like, yo, they love her in New York. And I'm going to say this. I think even if the Claressa Shields shit wasn't going on, they would love her. But I think the fact that her, you know, she's separated from Papoose. I call her ex because, yeah, they're still married, but she's not with him, right? So we call him the ex. I know some of y'all are like, that's her husband. Yeah, I know. But just walk with me, right? But all the Papooses, her ex, I think that Claressa has pissed off so many people to where the New Yorkers want Remy to really win, just to rub that shit in Claressa's face and Papoose' face. Because Claressa has really come out here and put herself in a bad position. You know what I'm saying? Plus, she's had things to say about Remy. She spoke on Remy and she said things which didn't go over really well. And the problem is, you could tell Remy she don't really care to hear the bullshit, but it's not Remy, man. It's the Remy supporters, the Remy fans. They even got somebody called the Remy Army or something, man. And they don't play. There are a lot of people sitting on the sidelines just watching Claressa. They're like, okay, big quote. She think that she can't be touched. She out here talking about she'll do this to somebody, this to somebody. And they've got really ignorant people out here. We were talking about on the live last night. Yo, if these random people who would just go and attack people in Spurs jerseys, they don't know them, they have no reason to mess with them, but they're just ignorant. And they'll go attack people in Spurs jerseys. If they get an opportunity to touch Claressa, throw something at her, do anything, which the young people out there in the universities and in the community colleges are saying they want to world star her. This is what the conversation is. I've reported on this before. People are coming to the show on lives and openly talked about it. So I'm not making this shit up. But if you got young people out there who are saying they want to do this to Claressa, now it's gone to where they're saying they want her gone within a year. It's going the wrong direction. What makes you think that there's somebody out there not foolish enough to, if in fact Claressa did decide to come to New York and be out somewhere, that they wouldn't say, oh, here it is again, she's thinking we can't touch her. And pride, ego, and ignorance will mix together results in a bad situation. And it could be for Claressa and that person. You see, ego, man, and pride will get your ass killed. And that's got Claressa a lot of attention and bad press. And it's gained her a whole lot of enemies. Pride and ego just have to say something. Somebody says something to me, I'm going to say something back. It's like when I talk to her. I should play it for y'all, but, I asked her, Claressa, you got that much time on your hands? You want to go at everybody. Everybody, man. Why? What do you care? I said, you got that much time on your hands? Check on every asshole you meet? She said, man, I wish I did. And that told me everything I needed to understand right there. Claressa is somebody who just isn't okay with letting people say things about her. And she's going to come back and whatever you say, if you say it loud, she's going to be louder. If you say it ignorant, she's going to be more ignorant. Whatever you do, she feels that I don't say she feels, she's willing to go 10 times more intense. Like what Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Now, like you go low, I go lower. Claressa don't care. But I just think she bit off a little bit more than she can chew now. And that's got to be an uncomfortable feeling. Now, we do know Claressa's talked about having, I think, a permit to carry a weapon, right? Now that this has got to be on her mind. I'm not saying she's scared or nothing, but it's got to be on your brain. I'm sure wherever she goes, she got the little something on her. I could only imagine where your mind gets the best of you, and maybe somebody walks up to her, could be a fan, but just out of excitement, run up on her, and she panics and pulls the gun, and now you got a moment. You know what I'm saying? It's just all bad. And it's not one person who, first of all, the people who told me about this initially, these are the people they're involved in law enforcement. I'll leave it as that. You know what I'm saying? And then the people who came on the live last night talking, they are people who are in NY and others who have family there, and they're talking and everything. All this is going on, and hood, I'll hit you back, and yep. And they're letting me know they got a pulse on things. Now this is something that came up, right? Now I don't know what direction all this shit is going to go. I hope nothing happens to anyone, but I just feel something bad is going to happen. I do. Because there was a bit of a calm, then you had the storm of her slapping Alicia. Now it hasn't quite gone back to a calm, but shit's bubbling. There's just a lot of negative energy surrounding Claressa Shields. Even with Papoose, man. It's just a lot of negative energy, man. Like, the shit's thick. Like, we're on the internet. But when I talk about these videos, it's like the air get thick. I always talk about, going into clubs or going into certain areas. The air gets thick. You can feel when something ain't right. For those of us who've, been around, so you can feel when something's not right. The energy shifts. You can feel when something's going to happen. You can 100% feel it. You could cut it. That shit is so thick. You could cut that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling that right now. I'm like, man, I'm just waiting to hear that something crazy happened. Because when you put that kind of energy out into the world, man, that gets reciprocated. It really does. But I'll tell you what, let's see what happens over the next week. Because I see everybody talking about two women. Names are floating around. One is a Samoan and Mexican and black kind of mix. Another one, black girl who went to jail um, for protecting her brothers or something like that. Something involved with shooting and killing. But the bottom line, I'm seeing all this stuff circulating on the internet. I'll say this. That's not good. And I'm wondering, how does Claressa continue to get herself attached to these conversations and find herself being mixed up in this kind of drama? You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know these people. I have nothing bad to say about anybody, because I don't know these people. And, who knows? Everybody got a story. But when I think about Claressa, I don't know her, but I have an idea about her just like y'all do. One thing I know about her, she's a goddamn 2-time gold medalist. And I expect her now, it's like I have no expectation. I know she's going to make noise. I know she's going to offend people. I know she's going to have me scratching my head like, is she really doing this shit again? But I got to be honest with you. I am out here right now a little bit dumbfounded at how she found herself to be mixed up, beefing with these two different women. And probably the most toxic mix-up that she's been involved with. And she's talking more toxic than ever now. You see, she's finding a way to go a notch below every time, man. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to come climbing up out that trough, recovering, getting back on your feet, and going the right direction. Nah, man, she keep going deeper and deeper and digging the hole deeper and deeper to the point where she look up, she ain't gonna be able to climb out. She gonna need someone to throw a lifeline, and they ain't gonna be there to do it. I think that's where she's at. Yeah, like, she can't possibly enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the shit, you feel like you can't go places now? You're gonna go anyway to prove a point? Let me tell you something. If she got the right people on the team, they'll tell her, no, stop. Don't do it. It ain't what you want. Now, somebody suggested, well, look, what about Papoose? I said, I don't know anything about him when it comes to all this, and I haven't heard nothing. But I tell you what, I mean, him being Remy's the father of her child, and the fact that he was with her for so long, that people have, I think they had a lot of love for him, and they still have a lot of love for him. But somebody said, well, if they want Claressa, maybe they'll do something to Pep. Like, I don't know. I ain't hear nothing about that. But I would think that even if somebody thought about it, they would probably say, well, that's still Remy's, husband and father of a child, and that's Papoose. Nah. But the bottom line is crazy that this is the kind of conversations. Because I listen to Papoose when he talk. Yeah, I'll come out here and Papoose, I listen to him. He has a story. He's been mixed up and stuff. Most of us have been mixed up in stuff and made mistakes. Some not as wild as others, some are crazier. But the bottom line is a lot of us guys, especially when you're out there ripping and running as a young man, you know what I mean? You find yourself getting yourself into shit. So and I'm talking serious now. Like, I heard when that man said, him, K-Slay, Papoose was in a pretty serious situation, and that saved his ass. K-Slay being willing to work with him saved his ass. So to see him now, where he's got this situation with Claressa, it's like, how far did you get away from being in these compromising situations? And how close have you come back to being in those compromising situations as a result of getting involved with her and, in my opinion, pushing her to be the villain? And if she doesn't listen, what you gonna do about that? Because you have someone here who now you have people out here who really want to hurt this villain. Not necessarily Claressa Shields, because I still think a lot of it is her performing. But I do think she has a lot of that shit in her too. But how's he gonna clean that up? Because they don't live together. But her coming to New York, I mean, that would have me feeling uncomfortable if I know I'm walking with someone or people want to do something to them. I'm sure we've all been in a situation where we like have had to save somebody from getting jumped or something happening. I'm sure we've all been in them situations. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to do that. It's like, nah, he's good. Nah. Y'all ain't y'all can't do that. I'm sure. And you know what? Sometimes, man, you may have the one you're talking to where y'all have a bit of an understanding, but you got fools in the background. They ain't trying to hear that. I'm just looking at this and I'm just shaking my head. Because really, I'm like, what are we even talking about? Talking about a gold medal, a two-time gold medalist. What are we talking about? How do we get to this point to where you have the streets, people on the streets, really out here wanting to hurt this woman? Look, I know what y'all gonna say. She wanted that kind of attention, so it is what it is, hood. Just step back and hey, look, I ain't involved with this shit. I'm just talking about it. I'm just telling you, it's crazy to me. But the New Yorkers say it's true. Well, I'll tell you what. I like to set planning factors. We're almost in August. And so far, what we see with Claressa Shields, from August of last year to right now, seems like doors have closed. Her career isn't doing so well. As far as the money, I don't know what her money situation is, but it doesn't seem like her career is taking off. She seems to have more enemies than ever. Seems to be more unhappy than ever, and seems to be more stressed than ever. And she's with a man, of course, he's separated, but he's still not divorced. She still hasn't had a child. And it seems like everything is just unraveling. And now she got this thing to where she got to really be careful where she goes and what she does, because people really don't like her and want to hurt her, man. And it's unfortunate. So I'm sitting back now, I just want to see how it plays out. But I think what's next is something. I think it's an explosion. I don't want that for anybody. But I'm just telling you, the air's thick right now. I had somebody hit me up today, was telling me something. I was like, and they know. They're just like, yo. They were just like, they're like, you're talking. That's all they said. I'll leave it at that. I go, you're talking. I'm like, yeah, Tony, put that shit out there a little bit. They're like, just sit back. That's what they told me, sit back. There's a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes. So I'm like, all right, we're going to find out if what you're saying is what it is, but I already know. I know what they do. So maybe this will die down, because to see Claressa go out there with the belt on her shoulder, taking pictures with Angel Reese, maybe Claressa is going to try to change her image. Maybe she's going to try. I don't know. But I tell you what, we may get a couple of days of quietness, but at some point she's going to flare up. She's going to be online again. She's going to be saying something and going off. Maybe she need to take some time, like we talked. Maybe it's time to get help. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time to go and have a conversation with somebody. Talk about all this shit that's going on. Instead of coming in front of your camera and venting to the world, man, get off of there. Go and talk to a professional. Do your venting there. Complain there. And then when you get all that shit out your system, you come back, you can have a fun live or whatever you're doing on your camera. It could be more pleasant. And if you gotta block people, block people. But I did a video today, this internet is addictive, man. But I'll say this again, greatness doesn't need validation. As soon as you realize that, the better. But anyway, man, I'm about to go chill. Y'all keep cool. New York says it's true. And this ain't just, Billy and Bob who's out here saying this. People who are close to the source out there who know what the hell's going on. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.